Editing, that's what I'm trying to talk about. My name's Victor, I'm an editor. I used to edit stuff for television, now I edit stuff for YouTube, and I'm trying to set up this channel to talk about editing as a craft and the process of editing, and open up discussions and get questions and thoughts and stuff like that from other editors, such as maybe yourself. Maybe you're cutting videos and stuff for YouTube, and maybe you've got questions and thoughts about it of your own. I'd love to hear them. I love talking and thinking about editing. I do it all the time. Look, I've been trying to, this is my attempt. I've already tried to today do a video about editing. That's my timeline. This is all my little clips that I'm going through, and I'm assembling them into this timeline like that. I've been rambling on and on about it, and basically all that I want to get across is I want to try and open up a discussion about editing, and to sort of promote the first, sort of make a first foray into a discussion about editing. Why don't I share with you my method of editing, whether I'm editing something for television or whatever it is, or stuff for YouTube. I do the same thing every time. This is it. You start with a sequence that's very, very long. Maybe like an hour and a half long or something like that. Maybe you're aiming for your finished video to be about sort of between 15 or 20 minutes. Maybe you think that's kind of like what it's worth. 15-20 minutes of like, entertainment. That's what we're sort of in the business of doing. So you start with maybe like an hour and a half video, whittle it down. Your next sequence will be maybe an hour and 20 minutes. Then your next sequence, you're just trying to shave off minutes each time until you get to sort of what is more like the truth of what you're trying to say. Don't do any fancy decision making at the top. All you're doing, in especially the early sort of stages of that process, is decisions over what is included and what's excluded, and be liberal. Include whole thoughts. Don't just take little snippets that you think, oh, that's a soundbite that sounds good, that'll end up being like a couple of seconds anyway, I'll just take a couple of seconds. Take the whole thing, trust me, because otherwise you're going to get yourself into a whole can of worms where you're like, oh, I've missed the context, I've got to go back to the rushes. Rushes is stuff that you've shot for this project. It's an industry term. You're trying not to go back to the rushes. What you want is for those beginning sequences that are very long to be then your basis. That's your foundation for your editing. You start off with that, and then you whittle down to your finished video. If that's what you were doing already, let me know. If you're sort of ready to move on from that, if you want me to expand on that further, let me know. I'm trying to open a discussion about editing. That's what these videos are going to be about. Hopefully they're going to be helpful and useful. So I need you guys' help. What shall I say? What shall I talk about? What should we do? What do we think about editing? Thanks. I've got thoughts and ideas and stuff on editing that's been formed by... Oh, look, there's my wife. Oh no, baby's crying. Is he not enjoying it?
No, he was just on me, but I think he got like well hot. Look who's over there.
William, it's your father. Sorry about that interruption. That's just my wife coming back with our baby. That little bit was a little glimpse into the world of actuality. That is what we call in the industry actuality. Do you feel like you could feel the difference sort of between that, how the content sort of shifted between me just being sat down talking in the interview style, or piece to camera style, since I'm sort of holding the camera, and it shifted then to actuality. My wife came in, chaos sort of happened, and we let a little bit of the chaos in. That's the sort of very sort of shallow waters of what I would call actuality. There's a clue into the kind of stuff that I want to be talking about in later episodes of this. So there's my timeline, my first assembly timeline. It's only it's about 18 minutes. 2 chunks. My first take, second take, and this is the second take is probably what I'm going to be working with. Here we go. Duplicating the sequence, making my first decision. Pow. Now I'm only dealing with this. There we go. There's the duration, 5 minutes. So now, over the course of this edit, that's what I'm going to be doing, whittling that 5 minutes down to a relatively short, as easily digestible as I can possibly make it, maybe like 20-second, maybe that kind of thing. Short and sweet, as short as I can get it, because I'm already aware, especially acutely aware now, having just reviewed myself talking about editing, that I can witter on about editing in a way that's really boring and unaccessible. So this is my attempt at it. Let me know how you think that I got on in this edit.